Back to the Fostering and Adoption Podcast with Nikki and Larry. Last week, we talked about disorders that can disrupt, if not denied.
Right. So you got a little glimpse at the children getting settled in, diagnosis coming out, the children letting their walls down a little, and different things that we had to do to take care of our household and make sure that we didn't have disorder.
So, how did we address it?
Okay, let's get into that now then.
All right.
Let's talk about in this episode how we secured our own sanity and safety on this journey.
Tune in.
All right, let's get started.
First, let's identify some general safety concerns while fostering and adopting.
Okay, so we have mental health. That's always a big deal. But mental health and the triggers. Because the problem is we don't know what's going to trigger a child sometimes until they are triggered.
True.
And at that point, you're dealing with a lot. So those general safety concerns is you don't want it to go too far. You don't want it to go too in depth. So we talk about mental health and the triggers, navigating trauma, and sleepless nights.
Right.
When the child first come to you, you have a lot of sleepless nights.
True. That's true.
You
You got to
know.
deal with a lot. You got to deal with whatever their discomforts are and yours as well.
Right, and some of them just can't sleep because you're in an unfamiliar place. How many times as adults do we go places
And
and
can't sleep.
you can't sleep? You're sitting there for a while trying to
Right.
figure out what's going on. Well, just imagine that child
Right.
that's in an unfamiliar place with unfamiliar people, and just like we just had a placement the other week in a home where we had 3 children, and this is not to scare anyone, but this is reality. 3 children that saw their uncle get shot in the head.
Oh, no.
Okay, so you can imagine the trauma
Right.
that they're trying to navigate through at nighttime coming into a home and sleep. So when they close their eyes, they might still be seeing that.
Yes, absolutely.
So those are safety concerns, not just for the child, but for the parents, that if that wasn't on their paperwork when we got them, we wouldn't have known that that occurred. So how do we deal with those screams at night?
Wow.
You know, those night terrors, those just uncomfortable moments that a child might have. But safety, again, concerns come with a lot of people choose not to foster because
That's true.
they don't want to deal with, well, what if the child lies on me?
Right.
What if the child been through so much trauma, how I know they won't hurt me?
Right.
You know, so you have accusations and blaming.
And no one wants to be blamed for something that they did not do. We know that.
Right. And what do we get blamed for as foster parents? Taking them
Taking
away from their parents.
That's true.
You know, the first thing come up is that you took me away from my parent, and the parent will also start saying that you took
That's true.
you
That's
took
true.
their child away.
Yeah, you do get blamed for that sometimes.
You know, so they have visitations. They're still meeting with the parents, and a lot of different things come up. They don't like the way the child dressed. They don't like the way you're doing the child's hair.
Right.
They just don't like, really, bottom line, that they're removed from them.
Right. And everything is going to be disagreeable, and unfortunately, you're the face of it.
Right. So a lot of those safety concerns come up. I recall that even in our own journey, we received just a statement was made to us from the bio parents that, you know, really threatened our safety.
Right. That's very
And talked about the house burning down,
Right,
and
right.
it can happen to us,
Yep,
you
that,
know.
that really got our attention.
Yeah.
did.
So again, we had to see how we're going to kind of make sure that we're safe and that we're keeping those babies safe.
Right.
That's in our care.
And on top of that, helping them feel comfortable or safe,
Mm-hmm.
and that their parents, or we're going to take precautions so that their parents don't actually act on what it is that they said.
Right. And we never want them to feel a negative way towards their parents.
That's true.
So in the same time we're thinking about our safety and keeping the kids safe,
Right.
we're also still, you know, keeping that confidentiality and that privacy, and really shielding the child from a lot of the statements that we were
A
hearing.
lot of the negativity that came our way. Let's put it like that.
Right. That's a good way to put it, babe.
Yeah. So
And-
it was a fine line to walk.
It was, and
Yeah,
it was difficult because we're human.
Right.
And we have feelings too, and we have children in our home, not just our foster children, our adopted children, but we have our bio children and we
Correct.
have grandchildren.
Correct.
So it's a true safety concern.
That's right.
So I do understand when parents are hesitant to foster.
Right.
Now, I will be the first one to tell you, if you choose not to foster, well, who will? Who will? Who are going to help those babies?
Somebody has to.
Somebody has to do it. So, hey, God chose us.
Yeah.
So we're doing it, and that's just simply the way we feel about it because he called us. You have to be called to this space or these safety concerns can really scare you.
Yes, they will.
Okay.
They'll keep you away from fostering ultimately.
Right. So we're discussing them, but not to scare you, but simply to make sure that you're aware and you just come up with different plans.
Right.
Physical harm is very scary. And or a true safety concern.
It is.
When you're talking about taking in any child, especially a child that comes from the system.
Right.
So physical harm can happen.
Physical harm to the child, physical harm to you potentially, and physical harm to your children in the household.
Right.
These are all concerns.
And it can be by the child. Not that they're setting off to really just hurt you, but because you have displaced anger and fear
Right.
that they don't know how to cope with unless they're taught.
That's right.
So the biggest thing today is trying to not allow them to spiral because spiraling is a very dangerous situation that can occur for you and the child trying to get them under control.
Right. Now let's talk about some of these, examples or situations where a child might spiral out of control. You may be watching television, you may be playing, you may have a conversation, children could be playing, and all of a sudden, if you're not paying attention, it can go from 0 to 100 really fast. So you have to be aware and pay attention.
Such as when you're talking about the children playing, you're talking about horse playing, wrestling,
video games, you name it.
Oh, video games for sure. Because somebody's going to get upset because somebody is, I'm not going to say cheating, but they're
however, winning.
And they, like our son told us, they don't have the skills to win.
There you go.
But they're winning.
winning.
And we're talking about spiraling. Let's talk about that safety concern. Not just doing physical harm, but in our own house, we had a child that got so upset that a virtual friend was winning that he threw his own gaming system down.
Destroyed his own gaming system.
And destroyed the whole gaming system and tried to destroy the whole TV.
True.
Because of a virtual friend
that was supposedly cheating.
And he knew this because the other child, I'm still stressing, virtual friend did not have the skills that he was portraying in order to get the points that he was getting on this game.
Right. So his level wasn't high enough to have all of the skill sets that he had.
Right.
in his character on virtual.
So that's a true safety concern because when a TV falls on the floor, especially an older TV, then a whole lot can happen.
That's true.
A fire situation because of the electronics hitting the carpet and so forth. The child can get hurt.
Right.
The child can hurt other children. So we're talking about a deep spiraling where this child just did not understand that, first of all, this is virtual. Second of all, this is a game.
And third of all, you're destroying, things in a house and, and potentially harming yourself.
Right. So now you you're withdrawn from the game. You can't play any longer.
Right.
So we did have to try to explain to him. I don't think he ever got it. But now this child is going to acquire these skills that you thought he didn't have because he had something to practice because you can't play.
Wow.
So now you can't play the game. So he has all this time to practice before you can get back on the game.
Right.
So these things seem so simple, but it's so real to them at the moment. Even just spiraling in, we told our boys a long time ago that there was no wrestling in the house because somebody was going to get upset because somebody got pushed them down a little harder or somebody didn't hear them count to 3 and say, get up.
Right.
Something was going to happen where they disagreed.
And that's typical children, right? I mean,
right.
I can't tell you how many times we would, go from horse playing to all of a sudden it's like, wait, they're serious.
Right. And we didn't tell you if that was a foster child or a bio child.
No, we're not going to talk about that.
So it could have been either one. It's just all the children. And that's another thing. When you're talking about safety, make sure when we set up safety boundaries that it's for both. You know, it's for your bio children and it's for your
and it's for your
foster
foster
children. It can't
children.
be
Yeah,
one
that's
over
true.
the other because a foster child, if they have an incident, you have to do an incident report.
Right.
Well, we would tell ours all the time, especially because they were high schoolers at that time. Whoever got hurt, if you caused it, you're going to write the incident report.
Yep.
That stopped them really fast
So
with
proceed
all the
with
horse
caution.
playing.
Yeah, there
You
you
know,
go.
with
Proceed
8
with caution.
boys and 2 girls, there's a lot of horse playing.
There was a lot of horse playing.
So
I'm
it comes
surprised my
down.
house survived the horse playing.
Right. Well, some portions.
Some portions. Okay,
Some
you're right,
portions.
you're right.
As you all know, those bunk beds. Okay.
Okay, why are we talking about the bunk
They
bed?
they went away because anyone who's kind of foster and had multiple children, you're like, oh, bunk beds is
bunk
a
beds
good
are
situation
great
until they're not.
There you go.
Until they're not.
That's right.
So some things destroyed, some, and I know that one person in particular that I'm thinking of at this time actually had the heart to foster and wanted to foster. And do you all know what stopped him?
What was that?
Simply because he did not want his house destroyed. That is what he said. Well, I like to keep my things neat and I don't like the messes. And what he's heard and his experience with dealing with children, because he was in the field of children, was that they're going to destroy, have holes in your wall.
Oh, wow.
They can burn up your carpet.
Oh, wow.
All this can happen with any type of child. I just want you to
Does he
know.
know that just having children, these things have occurred
Children.
in our lives?
Right. So
Right.
it's not just foster. This can happen with your bio child.
As a matter of fact, it probably will happen.
Right.
Something
And
will
even a
happen.
grandchild, something. Now, we have heard stories of toilets having to be replaced so many times.
Oh, wow.
We didn't go through that, but
we
we
didn't
did
deal
have a
with that.
toilet issue, but we didn't go through having to replace or
Right.
broken a lot. So, yes, there are some things that are general safety concerns.
Right.
With the main one, I think, statistic-wise, would just be the physical harm.
Yes.
Physical
that's
harm.
the biggest one. That's the biggest one.
From just a child harming you, you trying to restrain a child, getting maybe too physical with them, so the accusations come, you get an investigation.
Right, that's true.
There are a lot of things that can happen, but it can happen with your own as well.
That's true.
So I don't want these things that we're talking about to just, dissuade you from not, being a foster parent or adopted parent, because there is so much you can put in place to make sure that you still secure your sanity and your safety.
Right.
So let's get into that. What helped us sleep comfortably at night?
Yeah. Well, for one, being prayed up, being strong in our relationship.
Definitely.
And like I said, hey, keeping order in your household is something that you must do when you have children, regardless. So,
Right. And we came up with family activities. That is so very important because it helped you actually build mutual trust.
That's true.
They when you start playing games in the house, they start to trust you. They see another side of you,
Right.
that fun side.
Right. You're not
Unless
the
you're a sore loser.
disciplinarian.
Wait a minute. Unless you're a sore loser.
Hold on, wait. Unless you like to cheat.
Unless you cheat, right. We have some uncles, some aunts, some grannies,
Yeah.
they get real serious
Yes,
about
they
their
do.
games.
They get
So
downright serious.
but the kids love it because they see you in a different light.
Right.
And not having to be their disciplinarian.
Yes.
As you said, at that moment, because you're it's happening both ways.
And on top of that, they feel like because they are a part of a family.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing.
And that is very true because of that activity and you're doing it at home. Also, you get to see another side of them.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, we
Because
learned a
once they
lot
open
through
up,
activities with our
Yes,
children.
indeed.
You learn who your leaders are.
You learn who the competitors are.
Oh yes, most definitely.
yeah.
So therefore, you can even put that into your discipline as well, and
you
how
go.
you're raising them. But you truly get to understand them
Right.
in a lighter light.
There you go.
Okay. Also, meeting of the minds.
Yeah, they help to gauge interest. I mean,
Yeah.
you can find out what everybody likes, what they don't like, because once you have these quote unquote meetings, they will tell you.
they will
what
tell
they do
you.
and what they don't. Once you say, hey, look, just tell me how you really feel.
Right.
Oh, you're going to get it. You better be prepared and have thick skin because you might hear something that you don't like.
Right. And also, it helps if you're gauging their interest, you can help them academically in school.
That's true. That is very
Because
true.
you know what they like, what they don't like, and you can gear whatever you're trying to persuade them to do.
Yeah, you can use it as motivation.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So not just with school academically, but discipline-wise as well.
Yep.
You get to learn your personalities of your children, and everybody just want to be seen.
All I know is this: removing electronics from teenagers.
No.
That's kryptonite.
Yes.
That's kryptonite.
It
It's
is,
like,
but
no,
you
don't
have to
take
be
away my
informed,
phone. Yes.
right? But you have to be informed as well.
That's true.
Because I recall me taking the telephone, not understanding that their iPad, they still doing the same
It's
thing.
the same thing.
So I'm wondering why no one even, care.
Why don't they look sad?
Why? No, they coming down just smiling.
They just handed it over with a smirk
They
on
like,
their face.
no problem.
No problem.
Smiling and smiling. Me taking the cell phone when you have a computer, when you have a laptop, when you have a MacBook, when you have an iPad.
A notebook from school.
I mean,
hey, all I
that
know
was
is
nothing.
You better be on top of your game as parents.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's equivalent to us saying, "Oh, give me your watch." They're like, "Oh, what is
Okay,
that? I
yeah,
don't even
great.
use this
Here
thing.
you
I
go."
never look at it."
Right, exactly.
So when you're learning these things, learn from them what really matters
There
to
you go.
them.
That's a big.
Because
I like the way you said that.
especially when you deal with disorders, because dealing with disorders and children really trying to find themselves, they don't know what they like.
Right.
So you taking about around certain things, and I remember even with my bio children, I would take away toys. I had a child that didn't even like toys. So me taking away the toys, and I was really good at it. I took a picture of the child toy that I would take away and put it on the wall like a "Do you miss me" thing. The child never looked at the picture.
Nope.
I mean, I was wasting a lot of effort.
He found something else to play with.
Right. I mean, fingers. You can't take their fingers away. So the child is just sitting up there twirling their thumbs, and you have no idea they're content.
Nope.
So the meeting of the minds really help.
Right.
Talk to your child, listen to your child. They don't know you're going to use them for ammunition.
That's
Just let them keep talking.
Yeah, that's true. 'Cause
Spill all
they
their
will
tea.
tell you. They'll tell you a whole lot if you just sit and let them talk.
Let
That
them
is true.
talk
That is true.
and listen when they talk.
Right.
That's the biggest part. And creating normacies for children. So we had a lot of routines. Routines are very important.
We still have a lot of routines.
Right. And, we want them to follow
We
them.
want them to follow the routines. I mean, I'm just saying.
Once they become older, more being in your home longer and longer, they kind of develop their own routines.
Yeah, they do.
To look like it's your routine, but
it's not your
then you have to
routine.
think, that's not what I
They
said,
kind of
dude.
took over a lot of our routines. didn't they?
Right. And then traditions.
Oh, yeah.
So there are certain things we do during the holidays, certain things we do on the weekends, certain things we do after school.
Right.
So just, how do we celebrate each other? What do we do on birthdays?
Right.
And in our house, birthdays are older. As the children get older, they got kind of tired of this. But because we had a child that had an issue with other children having birthdays and did not understand that that child would have a birthday as well.
Right.
We had to every morning of a birthday. Okay, baby, you ready?
Yep.
It's somebody's birthday. It's somebody's birthday. Whose birthday is it? Whose birthday is it? We literally have to do that. We've done that for the last 10 years so we can point at the person whose birthday it is so one child in the house will understand it is not about you. This is not your you can't blow these candles out.
Today, not you.
Stop blowing out everybody's candles. Don't try to open their gifts.
Stop being mad because
Don't be mad.
they're the only one with a gift.
And we're talking about spiraling.
Right.
When you're thinking about the spiraling, that child has gone into many episodes and situations because when he didn't understand that it was their birthday.
Yes.
So in order to prevent that spiraling, we had to come up with a tradition.
There you go.
Okay, now we're at the point like, when does the last one turn 18?
When
do we
having
stop?
to do this,
We're so tired. We're in the mornings now. It's somebody's birthday. Before we're going all fast. And now we're so tired. And then the person has to do a little dance. The dances are getting weirder and weirder. They're like, I'm too old now. But we still do it because of that child.
Right.
So those are just normal things in our home. We have different people over. They're looking at us like, why are y'all singing this song?
Right,
and none of us can sing in the house, you all. So
sing.
it doesn't,
I can't sing.
it doesn't sound good. This is not like a nice, good song because we just weren't gifted there. Okay.
No, we weren't. No,
so
not there.
How did we actually secure our sanity? Okay, this is gonna sound different, but in our quiet, our personal time, our quiet moments.
Whoa. We got personal time?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
When we sneak away from
go.
the situation,
There you go.
when we remove ourselves from the situation, and now it's resolved, That's when we really secure our sanity.
Right.
What do we mean by that? We find laughter in those quiet moments.
That's true. And there's a lot of laughter
You all,
in those quiet moments.
when we're talking, shared a whole lot about fostering with you, but it is so fun. It really is, because it's not that we're laughing at the child, but we are laughing with each other about a situation away from the child. Right. So let us share some.
Right.
Okay, potty training. You can't get any better with potty training. We had children that we tried to potty train, and then on the way out the door, we had counselors that come in and case managers. They tried to help us potty train. So they were like, oh, you can't go outside if you don't have on your underwear. Do you have on underwear? The child would pat himself down and say, I'm good. I have on my pull-up, and walk straight out the door.
Right.
Missed a whole little connection point.
Nope.
The same child, we were going to Vegas for a basketball tournament. We drove. Yeah. Passenger van of 12.
Right.
Every seat was filled.
Right.
And the child had on pull-ups. The pull-ups been great for all this time. But this day in the mountains with no restrooms around, the child had a fit. Had a true fit, screaming that they need to go to the potty.
No, you didn't say it right. I need to go to that potty now. First of all, that child has never asked to go to the potty. That child
never been to the potty.
Never been to the potty. But this child needs to go to the potty
now. I mean, wow. And this child, this whole ride was so uncomfortable because the child would not go in the pull-up. And we're all screaming, just go in your pull-up. Go in your pull-up. I mean, kids are screaming at the child, go in your pull-up. The child's like, no, I need to go to the potty now. I mean, and that now became more violent and violent. So but the best potty training story. You all, this is not a joke. Every Sunday morning, we went to a mega church. So every Sunday morning, we are in a rush to get to church, to get the children signed into the daycare part so we can get to the pew and sit down. Because if we didn't make it in time, we would have to start that, excuse me.
With all of us.
It's too many of us to my excuse me, and try to get to the middle of the pew so we can sit down. So we were rushing, got everybody situated. That same child was then about getting potty trained. Right. So I said to the child, because we're trying to get the child in school, and you can't get in school fully unless you're doing what you need to do in the restroom by yourself. Right. So I'm explaining to the child, everyone's getting dressed, and I'm saying, hey, remember, you need to stand up. You need to go to the potty now. We're getting ready to leave. Go stand up and use the restroom. Don't you sit down, stand up, and let's meet in the living room. Hurry up. You have 1-2 minutes. So we go, my husband, Larry, we go into our restroom to finish our last touches, grabbing our stuff, and we heard some footsteps, you all. Boom, 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 boom. Rushing into our restroom, and we're looking in the mirrors, and the child behind us, it didn't work. We said, what? And the child, you all, at this point, we forgot what was going on. This child is so tiny and small. I mean, right around our knee level, and screaming, it didn't work. I tried it. And we're like, you tried what? I stood up, it didn't work. You all, we weren't talking to that child. It was the wrong gender. Okay, that child. So now
she was not supposed to be standing up.
So she tried to potty standing up before we went to church. So you know now all the clothes are soiled. Everything. What are we gonna do, y'all? We
talked about being like ready to walk out the door, and then all of a sudden the whole plan changes.
Whole plan changes. Example. So we had to adjust again. Right. And we couldn't laugh in front of the child. The child was literally angry with us. Yes. Gave us the look like we were just the craziest people in the world. Why would we even suggest this? It just didn't work. She didn't understand it. I mean, so, we didn't get to daycare that morning. Nope. He actually had to log in, and this is before COVID. But we're still logging in to watch it on time.
Online, yep.
So then, we've had breakfast situations where children would go in. You know, I didn't know on the outside of a Pop-Tart, it didn't tell you what flavor. So we have children in the home that do not like certain flavors. So we will have, you know how you buy the variety pack to last longer. Well, we had one smart child that thought I needed a laugh that morning. So the child walked to the kitchen, got there first, and switched up all the Pop-Tarts. So then we're getting dressed again, and we have a child scream at the top of their lungs. I mean, they're already spiraling at this point. They're screaming, I don't like this. You did it. And we have one child when we walk in sitting at the table cracking up.
So we know who did it.
So we're like, what happened? The child picked up a Pop-Tart, thought it was one flavor, and then ended up being the flavor she didn't like. And the whole house had to stop.
Yep.
I mean, but the child who got it got the best laugh ever. We didn't laugh until weeks later, because it really messed up that whole morning. This same child, we had another child rushing out in the morning. Because when you have a big family, you have one prankster.
And you
all
have
the
a lot
time.
of different character types, but man, those pranksters. Whew,
and that prankster wrapped our whole staircase in dental floss.
Dental floss. Who does that?
They had just went to the dentist. We had just gave the whole speech about using your dental floss. Well, he used it just the wrong way. He wrapped all the steps. So as the children came down, rushing in the morning, I thank God no one fell. But some people got tripped up.
Yep. And they got tangled up in the
tangled up. And again, he was just sitting there laughing.
Right.
No malice to it, just pure fun for him. Pure fun for him.
He had a good old time.
He had a good time. So the dental floss got used, but not the way we wanted to.
Right.
I mean, we even had a child that was starting a date.
Oh, that was
fun. Okay. And I'm just sharing a couple of these things that keep you sane. Right. Because when you look back at it, you're like, you're going to laugh.
After the fact.
You're going to laugh and realize it's not all that bad. Because we had a child that was dating for the first time. And we were going to go meet the parents because that's just who we were.
Right.
And the child came in so serious and said, Mom, I have something to tell you. And I was, I waited like, okay, because the child always has something to tell me. So I'm waiting. And he said, well, the girl who we were going to visit, she wanted him to tell me that she was adopted. So I waited, trying to see where the story was going to go. Well, she just wants you to know she's adopted because she looks mixed, but her mom and dad, they're actually white. Okay, where are we going?
Okay.
So he didn't say anything else. And I said, well, did you tell him you're adopted too? You all, the look on this child's face. He was like, oh, no.
Yeah, he didn't share.
I said, well, maybe that would have helped y'all kind of, ease that ice. Because if she's telling you she's adopted for the first time, you could have said, me too. Right. And y'all would have had a little bonding moment or something.
Right.
Child didn't get it. Not at all. He just wanted me to know that she wanted me to know that she was adopted. Because, of course, all of us look alike and no one knows her. But so that's reminding, and it's been several times we had to remind our child of a situation because they literally, once you hear so long, and I'm glad he just kind of didn't put that together that, hey, I'm adopted too.
Nope.
He
felt very comfortable.
So I remember a child even saying, Mom, someone asked me today when they were in school, middle school, high school, are we a blended family? I said, well, you know what that means? No, I just told them, no, we're not a blended family. We have, it's just 8 boys and 2 girls. I'm like, yeah, you missed that one. You don't know what that means, but no, you're not a blended family. Right. So we went on and just simply, we try to make sure our children can do things on their own. Right. So we try to set up situations. You can do it on your own. You all
can be self-reliant.
Holidays might not be that time you want that to happen because in our house, everybody open up their gifts. We do it all together. We take all our pictures before you throw all your trash away. We have all this stuff in the living room area, and then you go upstairs and you change clothes and come down before dress for the day before everybody come. Right. So this child, we were like, no, you're doing this by yourself. You got these new clothes. You need to deal with this. Oh, you go up there and you find something, you look nice because the child was at the age they should have been doing it by themselves. But now we're going to push you on the wrong day, on Christmas, to do it. So the family came over. We're all sitting in the living room and this child walked out. You all, the child, just say if the child was in a size 10, they put on their little brother's clothes, there was a size 4.
And they
So
fit
when
'em.
they put the
And they
pants
made 'em
on,
work.
I don't know how it got on, but the end of the pants, the jeans were above his knee. And the shirt he had on was a size 4 and he wore a 10. So he came out looking totally ridiculous.
He looked like the Incredible Hulk.
And he didn't understand what
The
was
clothes
wrong.
were different, and he was walking down the steps, and we were like, "What in
Right,
the world?"
and all the other kids just started laughing. We're telling them, don't laugh, because we're trying to teach this lesson. After a while, the child just had to laugh at himself because he looked down. We said, what is wrong with what you have on? Nothing. It's the right color. No, look at what you have on. When he looked down and saw he could see all from his knee straight down. He even had on socks and shoes. I don't know how he did it, how he fit in the child clothes.
Made those clothes fit on him. I still don't know how he made those. I don't know.
But yep, we said again, we'll practice this during, the weekends.
Right.
Not on a holiday, not on a school day, because we want him to learn the lesson, but we're gonna wait a little while.
Right.
So he wasn't ready. So these are things that we've done through our meeting of the minds, our family meetings, our family activities, and just taking time to really look at the situation and say it's not as bad as it initially looks.
Right. In
Or
other
seems.
words, we've learned through from our own personal trauma.
Right, on parental trauma.
There you go. Parental trauma is more
because being a parent, that's a trauma by itself.
That's true.
True.
Yeah, you got to deal with yourself. You have to deal with your children.
A spouse, if you have that.
I know, right?
Right.
Yeah, right.
So one thing we've learned is, Larry had to teach me, keep them active. Keep them active.
Right.
Because a tired child sleeps very well. That's right. So nap time is very important.
Yep. So you
bedtime,
gotta get them tired.
Very important. Bring those routines in. They will stop asking you, do I have to go to bed? If they know every night they're going to go to bed at the same time.
Right.
So as adults, we have to be consistent.
That's right.
Yeah. So that they can learn how to be consistent.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's going to be a long night.
Right. Yeah. And parents need their own time as well. We're probably not the best daters. We've been dating since 16 and 19. Yeah. So we're not the best daters.
As quote unquote married.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
So we can't tell you that it would be nice, but we can't tell you that we just take 1 week out of the 1 day out of the week and go out on a date, because we've never really been out people. We are more homely people.
That's true. We're homebodies.
Right. We'd rather stay home. So us putting the kids in bed and everybody in bed in their rooms.
And the house is quiet.
And the house is quiet. Woo! That's a date.
Yes.
Date night.
That was it.
Date night right there. We can eat in peace.
Right.
We can talk in peace without interruption. We can watch a TV show without having to push pause.
Oh, yeah.
That's a date, babe.
That's a date.
That's a date.
That's a date.
So we love those date nights.
And a good restaurant on top of it.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying.
My baby can throw down. Okay. Now, I have 5 good meals, but he can throw down. So, therefore, create your village, though. When we needed help, we were able to, call on my sister, call on my dad, call on my mom.
Yeah, they were huge. They were huge in there. Yeah, they really were.
So. When we needed to get away, even our sister friends, we were able to, call on them. Actually, babe, we just got a gift. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Because it's almost Christmas. We did. We just got a gift from a parent. Wait a minute.
All right.
That's going to prove this point, okay?
Oh, wow.
I looked at it, actually, when she gave it, and I thought it's exactly. Now, this is a foster and adopted parent. What does it say? It takes a village. Thank you for being part of ours.
Oh, wow. That's so nice.
Okay? Yeah, you haven't seen that yet. So, for our tree. So, that's what it is about. It's about creating your village and making sure that you have a support system.
Right.
If you have a support system, then your children will feel supported as well.
Yeah.
Because you'll feel supported.
Yep. And another thing, one of the biggest, okay, you've got to be a united front as parents.
Right.
Hey, look, it's almost us against them. Not in a
but
bad
don't
way,
let them know
but
it.
don't let them know it. Because look, otherwise they're going to do what children want to do. They're going to work one parent against the other one.
Right. So stay on the same page in front of the children. Any thing you all need to talk about need to be behind closed doors where ears are not able to hear. Okay. So beware of that one. Right. Create experiences that they can cherish and that you can cherish. Because the memories we share with you all, funny to us. I don't know if they're funny to you or not, but our family will remember them forever.
True.
Because of the lessons we learned, the things we talked about, and just the good laugh that we got out of them.
Right.
So your safety and your sanity is your responsibility. So not the children. Don't put it on them. You need to take charge of your household where you can be healthy, they can be healthy, and you all can have a healthy life together through laughter, through love, through discipline and consistency. So, yes, that was good, right, babe?
That's right.
It is, because it takes time, but it's if you practice at it, it will get there, and your children will definitely appreciate you.
And you will definitely feel rewarded.
Right. So secure your sanity and your security. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to the Fostering and Adoption Podcast.
We are so grateful that God chose us to be parents. So we've talked about a lot through our bio children, our foster and adopted, but what we haven't talked about are bio parents. So tune in next week so we can discuss bio battles. Do you react or do you retreat?
Like, share, and subscribe, and we'd love to read your comments.